to today's country. So yeah, there's a kind of something came up during attempt 1, but here we go with attempt 2 of today's country, which is Monaco. So yeah, Monaco has been here for some time and was initially settled by Ligurians as a supposedly first settled what is now Monaco, and we're concerned with strategic location of the Rock of Monaco and evidence of the Ligurian occupation of Monaco was found in a cave in the St. Martin's Gardens, and originally a mountain dwelling people. There we go, starting. They were known for their hard work and their frugality, which two traits which the Monegasque citizens can be known for today, supposedly. And it was founded by Pharaoh of Massalia during the 6th century. Then the colony of Monaco became an important part of the Mediterranean coast. Monacos deriving from the Greek word meaning single house, enforcing the ideas of sovereignty, self-sufficiency and self-reliance. The ancient myths venerate Hercules as having passed through the area. In these days there is evidence of an admiration of Hercules, and the largest port is named Port Hercule. And Julius Caesar also stopped off in Monachus after the Gallic Wars on his way to campaign in Greece. Basically, he was going to conquer Greece. After the collapse of the Western Roman Empire in 476, Monaco was ravaged by Saracens and barbarian tribes. And after the Saracens were expelled in 975, the depopulated area was reclaimed by the Ligurians, and in 1215 the construction began on a fortress atop the Rock of Monaco by a detachment of Genoese. Sorry if I mispronounce anything. This especially Genoese Ghibellines, with the intention of turning the Rock of Monaco into a military stronghold. The Ghibellines created a settlement around the base of the rock to support the garrison, to draw in residents from Genoa and surrounding cities. The Ghibellines had offered land grants and tax exemptions to newcomers. Civil strife in Genoa between the Guelph and Ghibelline families resulted in many taking refuge in Monaco, and among the Guelph family, son of Otto Canella, consul of Genoa in 1133, Grimaldo, House of Grimaldi, the future ruling family of Monaco. And in 1297, Francois Grimaldi, Marzia, translated from the Italian as the Cunning, disguised as a Franciscan monk, alongside his cousin René I, and his men captured the fortress atop the Rock of Monaco. And at his death in 1301, Francois Grimaldi succeeded by his cousin René I, and his son Charles Grimaldi, who would become to known as Charles I, was considered by historians to be the real founder of the principality, as he added areas of Menton and Brune, increasing the size of the principality. And Charles I had an important role in the court of the King of France, and René II never entered Monaco and divided his land between his three sons, Ambrose, Anthony and John. And John I, who died in 1451, was succeeded by his son, Catalan. Catalan's daughter, Kathleen, married a Grimaldi of the Antibes branch, Lambert, and it was under his rule the Monaco was recognised as independent by Charles VIII of France in 1489, and almost 2 centuries after Francois Grimaldi first captured the first fortress atop of the Rock of Monaco, and the Grimaldis have achieved indisputable sovereignty over the principality that had been going so long. And repeated attempts by the Genoese to recapture the fortress provided unrewarding, as Louis XII confirmed Monaco's independence, establishing an allegiance between Princess of Monaco and the King of France. And then disputes with the French authorities ended in Monaco being placed under the protection of Spain, and this resulted in many financial burdens for the Principality, including storing the costs of garrison Spain placed in the fortress from 1524 for more than a century. Lambert Grimaldi de Antibes had 3 sons, Jean, Lucien, and Augustin. Lucian's son, Henri I, had 2 sons, Charles II and Hercule, and enjoyed peaceful reign towards the end of his life. However, both his sons ruled one after the other, neither for very long, and prior to this point the ruler of Monaco was referred to as the Lord of Monaco. And in 1612, Hercule's son, Henri II, was first given the title of Prince of Monaco, which became the official title of the ruler of Monaco and would be passed on to his successors. When Henri II led Monaco through what can be described as a good period, as his chief contribution was re-establishing Monaco's allegiance with France, which it only realised after more than 10 years of negotiations, and in 1641 a treaty was signed granting Monaco the protection of France, and furthermore confirmed the sovereignty of Monaco, its independence, rights and privileges. Henri II was given a French garrison to command, which he used to expel the occupying Spanish garrison that was still in the fortress with him. And the prince was received at the French court and was awarded many honours and privileges. And Henri II was made additions to the prince's palace, as well as decorations with many paintings, tapestries and valuable ornaments, and many visitors during this time marvelled at the vast collection he had acquired. And despite the lack of resources, the people of Monaco lived well, enjoying extensive maritime commerce and profiting from taxes imposed on ships on their way to Italy. However, the suppression of feudal rights was voted in French Constituent Assembly seized all of the prince's monetary possessions in 1789, placing the royal family in a grave financial predicament. And in 1793 the French revolutionary forces captured Monaco, for exacerbating the situation for the royal family, as the vast arts collections and all the possessions of the royal families were sold at auctions, and the palace was converted into a hospital and then a home for the poor, and the prince's family were imprisoned and free, and then several members of it had to enter the French army in desperation. And after Napoleon abdicated in 1814, and Monaco was returned to its previous state under the new rule of Henri IV. However, the Principality was re-established as a protectorate of the Kingdom of Sardinia by the Congress of Vienna in 1815, and remained a protectorate until 1860 by the Treaty of Turin. At the time of Italy's unification, Monaco was ceded to France, with unrest in Menton and Brunei, and the prince gave up his claims to the two towns, which made up 95% of the principality at the time. And in return for 4 million francs, both the transfer of these two cities and Monaco's sovereignty were recognised by the Franco-Monegasque Treaty of 1861. And in spite of the 4 million franc indemnity, Monaco's reduced size and loss of income it would have gained from Brunei and Menton prevented the principality from escaping its difficult financial predicament. And in 1856, Charles III of Monaco, Henri IV's grandson, granted a concession to Napoleon Langlois and Albert to establish a sea bathing facility for the treatment of various diseases, and to build a German-style casino in Monaco. And the initial casino was opened in La Condamine in 1862, but was not a success in its present location, an area called Les Spelunges, the Caves, of Monte Carlo, came only after several relocations in years that followed, and the success of the casino grew slowly, largely due to the area's inaccessibility from much of Europe. The Société de Bains de Mer, SBM, opened the famous Monte Carlo casino in 1863 with an ideal location. Monaco provided an enchanting setting for hotels, the theatre and the casino, even though it was difficult at the time to reach the principality. The casino provided a tremendous boon in economy, and the Hotel de Paris was established in 1864 by Charles III of Monaco, adjacent to the casino. It is a hotel in the heart of Monte Carlo that belongs to the Société de Bains de Mer de Monaco, and the first elite palace in Monaco. And the exclusive city views offers 20 rooms to a courtyard and has 29 large rooms. An exclusive sea view 59. An exclusive casino has 6. And economic development was further spread in 1868 with a railway link to France, resulting in a remarkable number of visitors to the France Principality. The Opera de Monte Carlo, or Celle Garnier, was built by the architect Charles Garnier as an exact replica of the miniature of the Paris Opera House. The auditorium of the Opera House is decorated in red and gold and has frescoes and sculptures all around the auditorium. It was inaugurated on January the 25th, 1879, with a performance by Sarah Bernhardt, dressed as a nymph. The first opera performed was Robert Planquet's Le Chevalier Gaston on the 8th of February 1879, that was followed by 3 more in the first season. Albert I, previously devoted to scientific research in the field of oceanography and paleontology, assured that the role of Prince of Monaco in 1889, with an outstanding reputation and seat in the Academy of Sciences, and various discoveries which are too numerous that can be discussed in that video like this. And he established the Oceanographic Museum, which is one of the top centres of oceanography to the day. Jacques-Yves Cousteau was the director of the Oceanographic Museum from 1957 to 1998. In 1911, Prince Albert I adopted the first constitution of a principality, separating three forms of power, which tutors at law, like the law school, get excited over: executive, legislative, and judiciary, that were originally held by the princes. And the prince exercises his sovereign authority in accordance with the provisions of the constitution and laws. And the prince represents the principality in its dealings with foreign powers. The title of partial revision of the constitution is subject to the mutual agreements of the prince and the national council, as the legislative power is shared between the head of state and who is the legislative initiative of the national council, which votes on them. The executive branch is under the authority of the prince. The government is exercised by a minister of state who represents the prince, is assisted by a council of government. The minister of state and government councillors are responsible for the administration of the principality, and in law the judiciary is for the prince. Present constitution states that he delegates his full exercise to the courts which administer justice in his name. From this principle flows the independence of the judiciary by the executive. Part of the Treaty of Versailles in July 1918 provided for limited French protection over Monaco. This established that the Principality international policy would be aligned with French political, military and economic interests, and attempting to remain neutral during World War II. Prince Louis II's sympathies were strongly pro-French. Nevertheless, the Italian army invaded and occupied Monaco, and after Mussolini's collapse in Italy, Monaco was occupied by Nazi Germany, and Prince Louis used Monaco police to warn the inhabitants of Monaco that they were being marked to be arrested by the Gestapo, allowing them to escape in time. And many people who lived in Monaco at the time were able to escape due to the assistance of Louis II and Gascon police, with the German army in retreat from Monaco, and due to Allied advance, American. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, coupons from Sainsbury's. The Sainsbury's.
You got your own nectar card?
Yeah.
Alright, isn't it?
Yeah. With the German, let me start that sentence again. With the German army retreating from Monaco due to the Allied advance, the American contingent liberated the Principality. And following the death of his grandfather in 1949, Prince Rainier III succeeded the throne as the sovereign Prince of Monaco, and on April 19, 1956, Prince Rainier married the American actress Grace Kelly, and the event focused the world's attention on Monaco as a well-established permanent bonds linking the United States with Monaco. And he had 3 children: Her Serene Highness Princess Caroline, His Serene Highness Prince Albert II, and His Serene Highness Her Serene Highness, didn't quite read it properly, Her Serene Highness Princess Stephanie. And proclaimed in 1962, the new constitution provided for women's suffrage, abolished capital punishment, and established the Supreme Court of Monaco, guaranteeing fundamental liberties. Prince Rainier had during Prince Rainier's rule, he turned Monaco into a thriving centre of international finance and business, as well as maintaining its status as a premier luxury tourist destination. And he oversaw the addition of the Fontvilliers district, district to completely recover from the sea, which increased the Principality's service area by 25%. He pioneered the innovative infrastructure improvement, as well as major projects such as Port Hercule transformation, which allows for more ships to dock there, as well as a large cruise ships, and the Grimaldi Forum Monaco, a futuristic conference and cultural centre. The economy of the Principality increased dramatically as a result. And Prince Rainier III also established the Principality's status as in the international community as well. And in 1993, the Principality of Monaco became the 183rd member of the United Nations in 1993, with full voting rights. And in 2002, a new treaty between France and Monaco established that if there were no heirs to carry on the Grimaldi dynasty, the Principality would remain an independent nation. In 2004, Monaco was admitted into the Council of Europe, and in addition, Prince Rainier III offered its patronage and financial support for various social and humanitarian causes throughout the world, and he staunchly supported the work of scientists in resolving environmental issues, and was a foremost supporter of various conservation practices. But after a 56-year reign, he unfortunately died on April 6, 2005. And his son, Prince Albert, the Serene Highness Prince Albert II, ascended to the throne, where he has remained. And so yeah, so far. And I feel like I'm going to briefly go over languages, but has gone over like three over 4 languages Monaco has, which were English, French and Italian. And then briefly go over the 4th language of Monegasque, also referred to as Monegasque. Is a native language used by the Monegasque people, and is a dialect of modern Ligurian language, and is to some extent alike to Italian. And Monegasque forms a section of a Western Romance language family, and it shares a number of characteristics with a array of Ligurian that is used in Genoa. And it is, however, different to the bordering language, such as Mentonasque and Intermolino. The language has been partially shaped by Nico-Occitan, which is used in some regions of Monaco. And Monegasque, like other Ligurian dialects, has been developed from the northern Italian dialect of the Middle Ages, and the vocabulary, syntax, grammar of the language has been influenced a bit by French and other similar Gallo-Romance dialects. I told you it was short, but moving on to legends, as there's maybe have 1 or 2 of them for you. The first is the Ligurians, the first inhabitants of the area. The Ligurians probably arrived when the immigrant Moors who spoke in Indo-European languages first penetrated into the province and Liguria and ancient Taurus. And historians Doris Siglas and the geographer Strabon describe the Ligurians as a race of mountaineers that use the hardest work and practicing an exemplary frugality, which might not have been everywhere, considering when we all get money these days, but like we all just want to spend it and all that on something, things that are like worthless. And then there's also the legend of Hercules, in the name of Monaco, as an the opening of a route which runs parallel to the coast of Italy and Spain. Something! Together with construction of the old fortification, which were found there, were attributed by the peoples of the past to the great hero of Greek mythology Heracles, known as the Romans as Hercules. Altars were dedicated to him at the main crossroad of a modest road known as the Road of Hercules. A complete temple was consecrated to him. To the Ligurian part of Monaco, and throughout antiquity the place was known as Pot of Hercules. Parthian and Carthaginian sailors contributed to its prosperity, and the name Monaco, which we mentioned before, was nearly always associated with that of Hercules, and by ancient writers. And the Greek Hercules Moinkos may mean Hercules alone, or Hercules who only has one temple. And in popular etymology, the name Moinkos is certainly a native one that can sometimes have origin in the Ligurian language, and it does not appear in the name of a tribe. In the coast of the harbour of Monaco were probably outlet of the sea for the great Ligurian people of the hinterland, the Oratelli of Perea. While the Roman period lasted, Monaco was part of the province of the Maritime Alps. Julius Caesar embarked from its harbour and the way to lead his campaign in Greece after the fall of the Roman Empire in the 5th century. On his way to lead his campaign in Greece, and after the fall of the Roman Empire in the 5th century, the whole region was ravaged by barbarians. The period of invasion lasted until the end of the 10th century. After the expulsion of the Saracens in 975, a little while later the people began to return to live on the Ligurian coast. So yeah, that is the video for today. So yeah, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all very soon, as I'm pretty sure I have 2 more videos today, one being the news. So yeah, au revoir for now, and I'll see you all very soon.